Imagine the world suddenly coming to a halt as in the movie The Core, or natural disasters ravaging the globe as in the movie The Day After Tomorrow. Imagine the world suddenly falling apart as Mother Nature reclaims her possessions, as in the more recent movie 2012, or the dark, dreary world caused by humans displayed in children's movies such as Fern Gully or The Lorax. Do you ever wonder if these things could possibly happen? No, of course we don't, because they're just a movie. Or are they? There must be some kind of truth behind these films that we so indulge. The hypothetical stories of humans being eliminated from the earth by natural catastrophes seems absolutely ridiculous. But who's to say they are fake? If problems are occurring in the environment, Mother Nature will gladly step in and clean up shop. The problem is that the burning of fossil fuels is harming the environment, because fossil fuels are being burned every day. As referenced by UXL Encyclopedia of Science, published on December 7, 2010, fossil fuels provide more than 85% of the total energy used around the world. In the United States alone, 2/3 of electricity produced is currently generated by burning the fossil fuels, such as coal, gas, and oil. The increasing global dependence on non-renewable fossil fuels threatens a nation's stability. A well-known news site, AmericanProgress.org, published on February 6, 2013, stated that the world's 5 largest oil companies made a combined profit of $118 billion in 2012, proving that it is happening. Stated by the Institute for Energy Research, posted January 3, 2013, developing countries in 2011 spent a total of $523 billion on subsidies for low-cost oil, which is allowing them to buy more oil for less money. The subsidies for global renewable resources was estimated to be only $88 billion, which is a lot less than the non-renewable resources. The effects of burning the fossil fuels are horrible. As aforementioned by UXL Encyclopedia of Science, published on December 7, 2010, the worldwide combustion of fossil fuels pumped more than 27 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere just in 2004. Richard Hilderman, in an article in Mother Earth News on EBSCO on September 2011, stated that the atmospheric levels of carbon dioxide are increasing significantly. Before the Industrial Revolution, levels of carbon dioxide were about 285 parts per million, which increased to a level of 390 parts per million in 2009. The level of carbon dioxide is substantially higher nowadays than any other time in the past 800,000 years. He also stated that the global rate of ice loss since 1990 is double the rate of the rate that was the previous 30 years before 1990. To state furthermore by Richard Hilderman in Mother Earth News, in the past 3,000 years alone, the mean sea level rose only about 0.4 to 0.8 inches, which isn't that much. But since global warming, during only the 20th century, the sea level rose 8 inches, just in the past century. And that's quite a bit compared to the sea level rise before. As stated by an article in the journal America, published on March 26, 2012, the Philippines, along with the rest of the world, are being battered by intensifying storms because of the climate change, such as one December typhoon there that left more than 1,200 people dead. Also aforementioned by the journal America, between 1900 and 2009, the global average surface temperature rose 1.3 degrees Fahrenheit. And that temperature change, that significant of a temperature change, is able to reduce food shortages or produce food shortages, which is up to 5.5% just in 2008 on wheat alone, and other products like corn, soy, and rice can be reduced up to 10% just with the 1.8 degree increase of Fahrenheit temperature. In Asia, an estimated population of 1 billion people are in danger of losing fresh water because of all the melting glaciers there. And in certain studies of species, up to 15 to 37% of them will go extinct by 2050 due to the inability to adapt to the rapidly changing climate. We need to create a federal law regarding the burning of fossil fuels. Government subsidies towards fossil fuels will be reduced by 25% in the next 10 years, along with a 25% increase in alternative energy subsidies. So the government subsidies are paid incentives to reduce the price on items for other people to buy, such as the citizens. This law discourages fuel consumption by raising the fuel prices while encouraging alternative energy by lowering the alternative energy prices, such as wind generation or solar panels. So the goal is to reduce the dependence on fossil fuels. The United States must put this law into effect to take the first step in global reduction of fossil fuel emissions. There are penalties for not passing this legislation within the next year. There aren't really price penalties because we need to pass this legislation onto the senators and representatives, but the citizens might not like them, so we can take them out of office, and that's what we need to start looking forward to doing. As I said, many citizens may lose faith in the representatives, so the United States will not be a role model in the scientific and eco-friendly community. Many countries may look down upon us because we're supposed to be one of the leading superpowers, as viewed by many other countries. So legislation of this kind has not been passed, and it will be the first of its kind. As referenced by the well-known news site AmericanProgress.org, published on February 6, 2013, the Big Five oil companies invested nearly $50 million just to lobby for government subsidies in 2012, proving that they don't want them to go away because they want the subsidies to make the oil price lower so more people buy the oil, and increasing our dependence on it, which we need to get rid of. Things will get worse if my plan is not followed. If we don't begin to get rid of the subsidies, then they're going to be burned at an ever-increasing rate. Burning rates have increased with the increasing availability of fossil fuels to the entire world. By avoiding this crucial step, our world may never recover from the harm we continually cause it. If these harmful fuels are cheap, people are going to buy them. It's human nature. The government is just basically paying you to buy gas by lowering the prices. I need you to make this happen. Contact the U.S. EPA's Deputy Administrator, Bob Persiasep. He can be reached at 202-564-4711. Tell him that you support this type of legislation and want him to support the law also. The world needs to change, and it starts with your determination. So please contact him as soon as possible.